Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I have a question. What if I told you that you can create the life of your dreams? Listen to what I just said. The life of your dreams, not the dreams of someone else, but yours. Well, there's kind of a formula that you have to do to make this happen. And the first thing that you need to remember is to put the past in the past. If you live in your future and you're going toward those things that you're passionate about, there's no way you can have it if you're holding on to things from the past. Now, I'm not suggesting that you forget who your mom and your dad are, okay, or anything like that, or the rules to what you're supposed to do in your different classes. I'm talking about the conversations that come up as a result of things that occur. So these negative conversations, I'm sure many of us have had before. And I know for me, I've been teaching for 25 years, and I am blown away every time I meet a student who is brilliant, and they say they don't really think they're very smart. Happens all the time. I'll stand in front of a class of 35 students that I just think, wow, they're going to change the world. And I say, how many of you think you're smart? And a couple of kids kind of raise their hands like, I don't know. So let me tell you one story that'll really break it down for you. This year, I have a student in my academic competition class, and her name is Julie. So she's in my academic competition class, and I asked her to be on my mock trial team, and she said, I don't really speak very good English. I was surprised. I'd seen her communicate. She seemed to be very communicative. So I said, are you sure? Because I really think you can do this. And ultimately, what's your goal in life? And she said, I want to go to college. Okay, so what would it be like for you if you were powerfully articulate in 2 languages? Not 1, 2. And she said, yeah, that would be nice. And I said, well, why don't you join my mock trial team and you can practice that? And she said, okay, just like that. Okay, let's do it. She made that decision right then. Every single practice that we had, she was at. And I have many students, even in this room right now, that have been on my mock trial team, and you know that's a lot of practice. And even when 4-hour-long practices felt too long, and some of us were over here joking around about something we'd seen on Instagram or something, I would see her over to the side, studying, mouthing all of the words that were in the case, making sure her pronunciation was on point. Well, the season came, and she was a superstar. I was so proud of her. She stood up in that witness stand in front of actual attorneys, actual judges of 30 years, and she blew them away. Well, there was no stopping her, because we had a student that wasn't able to make one of the rounds, and what did she do? She jumped in, and she killed it. I was just so impressed with this young lady. And then she joined my public speaking class, where she continued to give these amazing speeches and just seemed very comfortable with this thing that she used to say was uncomfortable. So here's the thing. I was asking her not too long ago, what do you think occurred? What do you think occurred for you? What kind of advice would you give to another student who was struggling? And she said, you don't understand. When I met you in August, that's when I learned to speak English. My mind was blown. I mean, wow. Just like that, she decided a lot faster than I've decided in my life. I feel like it's taken me decades to figure this out. But she just did it like that. And I said, well, I mean, how did you do it? And she said, I don't know, I just did it. So I learned some real important lessons from that I want to share with you. The first is that you can literally decide like that to let go of that negative conversation, any conversation that's holding you back from living the life of your dreams. And the second thing is, it really helps to have someone believe in you. And when somebody tells you you can't do something, you get to say, they told me that, and that is fact, or you get to say, they said that, and that is not fact. Watch me, which is what she did. Watch me. So, for all of us here in this room, I know all of us have these possible negative thoughts that go through our heads, but let me tell you a story that will even shed more light on that. When I was a kid, I really looked up to my older sister. I just thought she was it. She was the coolest person. She dressed nice. She went to school. I was 4 years old, and I remember watching her with her little purse, because she needed a purse, I guess, even though she was 7. But she had a little purse. And I would go outside with her, and my dad had built us this duck pond in the backyard, and we would go outside and we would throw rocks, and my little brother would go along, and I think I was probably his hero, maybe, I don't know. I'll tell myself I am. So we're walking outside, and I think, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to impress my sister, So I see this big boulder just sitting there, and I go over and I pick it up. Yeah, this is my chance. Pick up this big boulder, and I put it over my head, right? And I look over at my brother like, yeah, that's right, I'm cool. And I look at my sister like, yeah, what do you think of that? And without skipping a beat, she said, Mom, the baby's got a boulder over her head. I'm just this people-pleasing kid at 4 years old. And so what do? I look at my mom, and she says, put that boulder down right now. Whammo. Right on my head. So really, the message is that oftentimes our desire to please other people sometimes will even hurt us with no fault of anyone else's but our own. And there's nothing wrong with pleasing your parents. It's great. But just notice if any of that people-pleasing stuff is causing you to not see your dreams. Now, there are a lot of people in this room today that actually blow my mind all the time. There are many people in this room that can be the next Madame Curie, winner of not 1 but 2 Nobel Prizes in science, or that can be that Pakistani schoolgirl like Malala, who says, in my present, you're telling me because I'm female that I don't get to go to school. But in my present, I'm living the future where I, a female, get to go to school. That's everyone in this room that can have that life. And there's a student right now that I have who has aspirations to be a scholar and to go to an Ivy League school. And every day I see this young man, he comes in and he says, give me coaching. On my mock trial team, and he says, give me coaching and tell me what I can do to be powerful in that courtroom. And I give him coaching. I say, slow down. I say, let's look at this case that you can address. I say this. And he never takes that criticism on as, I'm not enough. He says, bring it on, because I'm a scholar now. Currently, I'm attending Harvard, Yale, MIT. Right now, I am living that life. So, I'm going to ask you, at what point do you get to say enough with other people? Let me make my own choices. Let me tell you one more story. When I was a kid, my mom and dad were my coaches. They coached me at softball and soccer. And one of the best things that I thought at the time was that they gave me coaching on was the after-season parties. So they would have these big barbecues, and like my mom was just the greatest cook, and just amazing. And I remember I was about 8 years old, and my whole team was there. We're splashing, we're playing Marco Polo, we're running around, having a great time. And I remember this quieter girl, she said, can I spend the night later on? And I was like, yeah, because if you know me, I like to have fun, that's, I don't know, I think life should be fun, right? So I'm real excited about that. Well, anyway, I didn't know her name. How many of you have ever forgot somebody's name? And do you do that thing, like, you try to, maybe they have a name tag? Or you go, hey, you? I do this. Hey, girl. I kept trying all those things. The rest of the party wasn't even that fun to me anymore. Because even at 8 years old, I knew that I was kind of a jerk for not knowing her name, a whole season. Anyhow, we were having a good time, and our parents all said that we could spend the night, even though I tried to ask it like this. Hey, can she spend the night? Hopefully somebody was going to say her name, but no. So anyway, so I decided I was going to come up with this great plan, right? So I'm in bed at night, and now it's getting more awkward. Like, I'm thinking, she knows I don't know her name, because she's saying things to me like, Lucy, you're one of my best friends. You're just wonderful. And I'm like, yeah, you too. It's so awkward. Anyway, I decide to do my plan the next day. We're swimming, right? And we're splashing each other, and I say, hey, how do I spell your name? She said, you don't know my name. Because when you're 8, you're super honest. There's no like, you don't know my name, how dare you? And I said, oh, no, I know your name. It's Kim, okay? K-I-M. So anyway, I went to bed that night, and I felt terrible. I just felt like, how could I do that? I'm a terrible person. And I remember going to my dad, who was, again, this incredible coach for me, and he said, it's something to notice. When you're playing team, you need to know each other's names. So it's just something to notice. And he didn't tell me you're a terrible person, you ding-dong. All those things, I told myself. I made those things up in my head, and they were so strong. And that's how powerful you are. You are that strong to make up something about yourself in your head and make it true. What about the things that you say that I'm not that good of a student? Or what about the things that I said to myself, I'm not a people person. I'm not good at relationships. I'm selfish. All of those things flooded into my present because I never noticed that was a thing I made up for myself, about myself. So today I ask you, what negative conversations have you created in your mind? Think so that you can clear your present to create that blank space where you get to create anything that you want, where you can look at your future and you can say, I don't need to get ready because I am ready. I am living my future now. Now, there's a number of ways you could do this. Positive affirmations. You can go see a counselor. You could talk to your teachers. You could talk to your parents, but get to the bottom of that so that you could see those negative conversations, throw them in the past, put your future into your present, and have the life of your dreams. Thank you.